Hey YouTube, this is Hobbyman360, and today I want to talk to you about my Bushcraft belt kit and talk to you about something that a local subscriber made for me. First up is my belt knife. I have the Condor bush lore. It's got a 4¼ inch blade, 1/8 inch thick, that's full tang, with the Scandi grind, and it has walnut scales. Now I really like the feel of this knife in my hand. This knife itself has done everything that I've asked it to in the woods. I really like this knife in and of itself. Someday I may upgrade, but for right now, this pretty much does everything that I need it to. Now, I keep that in a leather sheath from Self-Reliance Outfitters. Originally, I had the butcher knife from Self-Reliance Outfitters in this, not their new knife, not their new butcher knife, but just the old hickory butcher knife, and it did not fit this sheath very well, even though that's the way it was advertised. I thought it stuck out way too much, but this knife actually fits very well down in the sheath. I'm not worried about it falling out at all. Friction fits really well. So the stitching is nice and the pins are nice on it. I haven't had any issues with the sheath itself. On the back I have a sail needle that's attached with some Gorilla Tape. Now this is my leather possibles pouch I picked up from Cabela's, thanks to a family member who gave me a gift card for Christmas. I have, on the outside, it's got this little slot here. I can fit a 1/2 inch by 6 inch ferrocinium rod that I have Gorilla Taped and lanyarded to the pouch itself. And then on the, there's two different basically sections to this pouch. On the very front, I have some 100% cotton material that I can use to make char cloth. Also, this is bright orange. I can use it for signaling. I also keep about 100 feet of bank line, just some thin bank line, so if I need to, I can use this along with some other items in this pouch to set up a shelter. And then I have an Altoids tin fire kit. Now this kit pretty much goes everywhere with me when I'm out in the woods, but I don't really break into it that often. But for this I've got a magnifying glass from Self-Reliance Outfitters. I have some triple-aught steel wool and some jute twine. I also have a spare ferrocinium rod and striker. And then I have a full-size Bic lighter, and then some little SOL little fire lighters, or fire tinder. Now that's it for the front of the pouch. In the back, I keep a space blanket, or emergency blanket. And then I keep a Buck 110. This is kind of my go-to skinning an animal knife. Also, if I really need a sharp knife for whatever reason, say I dulled everything else out and I can't get anything else sharp, this is kind of my backup to a backup. So this Buck 110 stays in here. Now this is something, if you've watched my EDC videos, these are things that I have in my EDC with me all the time, but specifically for Bushcraft, the chapstick is good. You can use it as a fire extender. I always have a Bic lighter on me. I like having redundancy, and having extra Bic lighters never hurt anybody. So this one is always in my pocket, even though I have one in my my actual leather possibles pouch. Now for Leathermans, I actually switch out the Leatherman Wingman, which has scissors, for the Leatherman Sidekick, which replaces it with a saw. I like having just a small saw at hand in my pocket. I don't have to dig into my bag, either my haversack kit or my pack, just to cut a small branch or whatever. If I'm trying to harvest something for tinder, I have access to it right there. And then the Leatherman Wingman that I have has a serrated blade on it, or a partially serrated blade. I like having just a straight blade on there, and then this has an additional serrated blade on the inside. So I have quite a few options with this one, and this is the one that I prefer for bushcraft. So, dump pouches. I like to have one on my belt when I'm out doing bushcraft, just so that I have a place to basically dump either edibles, wild edibles, or tinder sources. Now, I kind of like the whole next fire mentality, so anytime I come across some tinder, I like to pick it up and I can just toss it in here real quick and not have to worry about it. I don't carry both of these. I actually just picked this this green one up here recently with an Amazon order, but I've had this black one for quite some time. I decided to take this out of my bushcraft collection and go ahead and put this green one in. But the size of it, it's not their bottle carrier. It's quite a bit bigger than the bottle carrier, and it will hold quite a bit of stuff. I really think the stitching is nice. I know when you're out in the woods you can get stuff inside of the Velcro, but I haven't had any major issues with this black one, and I've used it for a couple of years now. But I do, like I said, I like having a place to just open something up and toss in whatever tinder I find, or if I come across some wild edibles. And if I don't, if it's not one of those kinds of trips, I can at least have it rolled up on my belt just in case I come up across something that I need to pick up and dump in there real quick. So, Maxpedition dump pouches, the roly-polies. Now, lastly, for what I keep on my belt, this tomahawk I don't actually keep on my belt. I prefer to keep this attached to my haversack or have it on my bag when I'm out walking. But in this one, I actually just picked up. I picked up the cover for this cold steel Trailhawk with the order for the Maxpedition roly-poly, the green one that I just purchased. But this right here, I'm gonna actually put in my kit for my belt. It's just a simple leather tomahawk loop or hatchet loop that I can have on my belt, so that when I'm out, if I decide to set my gear down, I have a place to put my stuff. It's safer that way. I'm not carrying around, an extra tool, and it gives me two hands instead of just having to carry around whatever tool I'm using. I hope you enjoyed that look at my haversack belt kit. Hope maybe gave you a couple ideas. Let me know in the comment section down below. Please like and subscribe, and I will see you in my next video.